want you to turn to page 86. So pages 86 through 98 contain the 9 graduation requirements. So there are 9 graduation requirements altogether, and those are spread throughout these pages. You'll notice that these pages are all a different color than the rest of the pages in the catalog. And again, they detail the 9 graduation requirements that all students must complete in order to graduate from SDSU. We're going to be spending most of our time in training going over the information that is contained in these next pages. But for now, let's go to another section of the catalog. So pages, starting on page 101, going all the way through 464, is information about the undergraduate academic programs offered at SDSU. So this is referring to majors and minors and all the requirements necessary for them. Under each academic department, there is a listing of courses offered by that department along with the course descriptions. Page 102 starts a list of the majors that we offer and the type of degree you would earn. Page 105 has a list of the minors we offer. Page 115, if you flip to page 115, you'll see the information about the accountancy program. So it begins by discussing the background of the program, its focus, and what careers, fields, or industries that it will prepare students for. So all majors have pages like this. On page 116, all the course requirements for the accounting major are listed. And on page 117, all the requirements for the accounting minor are listed. On the same page starts the course descriptions for the accounting courses. So, why are course descriptions important? Well, they include information about prerequisite. They have the description of the course. If there's any restrictions, those will be listed. And prerequisites and restrictions are different. So, since it's your job to know how they're different, how to find them, and how to stress to those new students why they're important, we're going to be going through those. So, a course description. So if you flip to page 117, we'll look at Accounting 202. So you can see that it has the course number, the title of the course, how many units it's worth. And then right underneath that, we can see what the prerequisite is, which is having a minimum grade of C in Accounting 201. So now we're going to look at an example. So that's a prerequisite. Now we're going to look at an example of a restriction. So if you turn to page 348. This is at the end of the description. So the prerequisites are at the front and the restrictions at the end. So in this particular example, I'm going to have a student read me read out loud the restriction. It starts with not open to. Can I have a volunteer? Anybody? Yes.
Not open to students with credit in mathematics 105, 121, 124, or 115.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. So that's an example of a restriction versus a prerequisite. So with a restriction, the web portal will not stop the student from registering. However, at the end of the semester, the transcript will be updated and the student will not earn any units for the course. The grade won't apply to the GPA. So it's really important to read all the information about the course.
Where is that one? Which, is that here? Oh, math 141.
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry.
sorry.
Did I
Okay.
probably didn't say that. Sorry, math 141.
Oh, I see what it's saying. Okay.
Yeah. So then the prerequisite you'll see is at the beginning, and then the restrictions at the end. And just as an aside, I said that web portal won't stop a student from registering even if that restriction applies to them. It won't also necessarily prevent them from registering for a course in which they don't have the prerequisite. Okay, not all of our classes, because we have so many, are actually, we call them computer enforced prerequisites. Not all of them will stop a student, so they can register for the class potentially and not have the prerequisite, and that leads to some issues. So we definitely want to stress to the students that they're reading the prerequisites and they're reading the restrictions.
So if a student doesn't have the prerequisites, they can still get credit for it?
No,
Versus
not
the-
necessarily.
Okay,
The system will allow them to register for the course,
okay.
but then there'll be other issues, like they could get kicked out of the course, and then what if they can't find another course to replace that course? So it's just really important to be encouraging students to read all of this information to make sure they're registering for the right classes. Anything else on that before we move on? Okay. So flipping to page 466. So starting on page 46 is various university policies, including but not limited to course numbering systems, grading systems, so grades A through F, W, U, and I, and awarding academic credit. So page 466, the beginning of the various policies. So just to give you an example of the information that you can find in the University Policy section, if you turn to page 470, 470 and 471 defines the grading system. So it explains each grade from A through F. It also explains additional grades such as W, I, and other grades that may be assigned. It'll explain the WU grade. Hopefully this is not a grade anyone in this room is too familiar with. A WU is a withdrawal that's unauthorized. So, like if a student tried to drop a course after the schedule adjustment deadline, for example, they may get a WU. So a further example, it's after the drop deadline, the student can't drop the course, so they simply stop attending the course. They may get a WU grade. A WU is counted as an F in the GPA. So sometimes, especially our transfer students coming from community college, they think that they can automatically get a W grade, a withdrawal, even if it's after the drop deadline, because the policies are often different at community college as opposed to university. So obviously that's not the case here at SDSU. The drop deadline is taken very seriously. So we want transfer students especially to be very aware of those policies because they can be so different than that at a community college.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So a transfer student coming in, that W would follow them, and then the GPA would be adjusted at SDSU if they got it at a community course?
WUs are SDSU grades.
Okay, so that wouldn't be from their community.
Probably not.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Does that answer?
Yeah.
Any other questions on that? Okay. So on page 470, there are policies regarding the awarding of academic credit, such as earning academic credit through advanced placement in high school. Did you have a question?
Yeah, sorry to late one about the WU. Would you be able to do like course forgiveness for a WU credit class?
Yeah, and when we cover course forgiveness, we'll go into that more. Yep. Yeah, it's treated just like an F is in all purposes, like towards the GPA and how you would apply course forgiveness potentially to it, or even repeating the course. It's just that it's an unauthorized withdrawal as opposed to getting that straight F. Any other questions on that? That's good. That means that no one's familiar with the WU. So these are good questions.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So what would the transfer students get confused about?
Because at community college, often they don't have a set drop deadline.
Okay.
Or if they do, it's way different than ours, like it's 2 weeks before the class ends, as opposed to 10 days into the semester.
Okay.
So they come with that mindset of, no big deal, this drop deadline, I don't even worry about it, because I'll just get a W if I decide this class isn't working out for me at any given point.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so also there's information about various university policies, and it continues all the way to page 484. So like repeat policies, course forgiveness, things like that. On page 528 is an index After the index is the campus map. So this is a general overview of what's in the catalog, the different sections of the catalog, and how the catalog is organized. So now that we have highlighted some of the main sections of the catalog, and now that you have a general idea of how the catalog is organized and where you can find certain information, we're going to move on, and we have an exercise so that you become more familiar with these catalog terms. While those are being handed out, what we're going to do is you're going to stay in your action team, but you'll divide into pairs if you can, or a group of 3 if you have to. We're going to have each little mini team look for all the definitions. I want you to take note of the page number where you found these terms. So having those page numbers is going to help you find information during your quizzes. Once they're all handed out, we'll have 10 minutes, and then we'll reconvene as a whole group, and we're going to go over each term.
They're gonna have a catalog. There might be an index somewhere, so I'll try to look that up.
Maybe because I was trying to. Yeah. Sorry, I was you guys. No, he literally was so close.
Hour.